Back in 2013, aged 46, I had a heart attack. This is the story from blue lights to blue carpet. Yeah, it sounds unbelievable. There I was, 46-year-old, fit and supposedly healthy. I was doing triathlons, I was part of a running club. My diet had improved a lot. Didn't really drink a lot. Didn't smoke. And then one day at work, blacked out. Came to, went round, told my boss what had happened. She rang Mrs. C. Mrs. C come to pick me up. I just said, take me home. Thankfully, she didn't listen to me. She took me to A&E. They hooked me up to an ECG machine. Didn't like what they were seeing. Next thing I know, I'm being blue lighted across the Humber Bridge to hospital in Hull, and I was taken straight in after being given morphine in the trip, still unaware of what was going on and what had happened. Straight into theatre, where they unclogged the artery that was causing the problems and fitted a stent. All the while I was awake while this was all going on. If anybody doesn't know what happens when you get a stent fitted, they put a line up through your artery, either in your wrists, or in my case it was up through the groin, because they couldn't get up through the wrist. So, and you're awake during this, and it was the most excruciating thing I've ever been through. The pain was unbelievable. And the nurse, I remember, she'd showed me the blockage that they'd taken out, and it was like a piece of gristle the size of a pinhead. It's just unbelievable what was causing the damage. So that was done. Mrs. C was relieved when I came out the other side. As you can imagine, she was beside herself. And I was on a ward for 5 days, recovering. I was allowed home after I'd completed the test of going up 2 flights of stairs, which was laughable, really, considering how fit I was. I was a little bit of an anomaly. They didn't really know what to do with somebody like me who'd had a heart attack. But I got some great treatment. They sent me off, after they'd seen the consultant, they sent me off with 4 different types of medication, which I'm still on today. And one of those includes statins, and yes, I do take them, despite side effects and what people think. And then I was left to my own devices to get on with it and recuperate and get better. But it wasn't just the physical side of getting better. I had to get better mentally, because it certainly took its toll. I was in limbo. I didn't really know what I could and couldn't do. Depending on who I'd spoken to, the consultants at the hospital said I probably wouldn't be able to do what I was doing previous to the heart attack, which was triathlons. And I asked them several times on the subsequent visits across to the hospital and seeing the consultants, and the answer was pretty much always the same. And I believe they were just covering their own backs, to be honest. What gave me clarity was when I went to see my own doctor, who was a marathon runner, so he understood where I was coming from, and he said, yeah, you'll be able to get back, you'll be fine. Fit, healthy, young man at 46, yeah, you'll be fine. And he was right. And I think once he'd give me that pep talk, he gave me the confidence to carry on. So it was a process of just building up really, really slowly. Obviously, straight after release from the hospital, I was allowed to do a little bit of walking, and then that built up and built up and built up. And then I did get myself into cardiac rehab, which was another godsend, because again, they just give you that confidence to do stuff. Although the stuff that they give me wasn't really testing at all, but it was again another step along the path that showed I could get back. to doing what I love doing and what I wanted to do. So then I was on their program. I think, I'm not sure now. Maybe it was a few months. I'd got back to doing a little bit of running. I remember the first day me and Mrs. C went out and did our first run together, and she loved it because it was the first time that she'd been able to run with me because of the difference in pace, and it was really nice. And again, that just built up and built up. And then I think it was 4 months later, we'd entered our first race, and it was the Lincoln 10K, which we did together, and that was quite an emotional event. And that was it. I was back. I was back training properly, and life was starting to turn back to normal. So then I put in my first triathlon, which was at Rutland Water. It was a standard distance open water triathlon, and there was a group of us from the club going along to do it. And I'll never forget standing on the side before we got into the water, just feeling thankful and grateful that I could still do this thing. And I enjoyed every minute of it. Mrs. C was absolutely petrified. Open water swimming at the best of times can be like a washing machine. But I was safe. I took myself out to the side and didn't get involved in any of the nonsense that goes on. And I just want to get round. And I did. I got around and thoroughly enjoyed it. So I think that was in the maybe early September, maybe even earlier than that. So from having the heart attack the previous December, probably 7 or 8 months later, I was back doing triathlon, and it was an amazing feeling. So from there, I just kept going, kept training, and kept doing more triathlons and duathlons. And then the opportunity came up to try and qualify to represent GB at Clumber Park at a sprint duathlon. So I took it with both hands, and I managed to get a roll down time, but only got in last minute due to other people pulling out. And that was it was just an amazing experience from where I'd come from to go and race in the GB Tri kit. It's that dark blue one there in 2017. So 4 years after having a heart attack, I was representing my country. At Sprint Duathlon in Spain. And life's all about making memories, and it was just the first of many, and I've continued to do that ever since. And this is part of our lifestyle now. This is what we do. We train, we go trying to qualify each year to race for GB. And Mrs. C has since joined me on that journey. And not only does she race for GB, but now she's become an age group manager. So after that first event in 2017 over in Soria, Spain, I then qualified for the World Championships over in the Gold Coast Triathlon. And again, it was just a fantastic experience. Loved every minute of it, and made great memories that we'll never forget. And we've qualified or tried to qualify every year since. Either Mrs. C or myself's been lucky enough and got a spot. And we've been all over the world. Been to Romania, we've been to Spain several times, we've been to Australia, Italy, Portugal, And those 3 kits up there are what we've earned and what we've raced in. So this video primarily is made to give hope to people who are going through some sort of trauma, physically and mentally, just to show that there is light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how it feels at the time, how it feels now, you can come out the other side. You can progress. How much do you want it? And just believe in yourself. What I found out early doors was that nobody's going to tell you how you feel. There's only you can do that. You've got to be true to yourself, and pretty much it's like in everything, isn't it? Just listen to your body and just go with your gut feeling of what you think you can do. And that's what I did. After listening to consultants tell me that I couldn't, I decided, after a bit of encouragement from a doctor and from the cardiac rehab team, that I could. And it was right. I got back to doing what I loved. So yeah, I just hope this helps people who are maybe going through a tough time at the moment. That's the story of blue light to blue carpet. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. And as usual, stay safe, keep training, and love the process.